asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Good morning and namaste everybody. So today, actually we have already started. Yesterday we had some introductory remarks, but today we'll get into the text. The text is Advaita Makarandam, which translates as, here is translated as the nectar of non-duality. Literally it means the honey, the essence of flowers, so the honey of non-duality or the nectar of non-duality. And it's an introductory text on Advaita Vedanta. The unique feature of this text is that, too loud? Little loud. It's fine? Yeah. Alright, let it be, let it be. The unique feature of this text is that it relies on arguments to prove that we are Brahman. It's a bit loud.
It echoes.
Echoes vast, yes. Technically speaking, three kinds of doubts can be there in Advaita Vedanta. One is Pramanagata Samshaya. Pramana means source of knowledge. In Advaita Vedanta, the Pramana source of knowledge are the Upanishads and other texts. So we have a doubt regarding what do they teach. And when we listen to the teachings of the Upanishads and other subsidiary texts, this doubt is cleared up. So now we know what it's teaching. We all know. It's telling us you're Brahman. There is an ultimate reality which is existence, consciousness, bliss, which is all-pervading, which is eternal, which is non-dual, meaning there is no second reality apart from it. Such an amazing thing is there. I mean, thing is within quotes, not a thing. But it's you. The more amazing thing is that it's you. So this is the teaching. And we now have clarity regarding the teaching, that this is what Advaita Vedanta is teaching us. But now the second kind of doubt comes up. The second kind of doubt is called Prameya Sambhavana or Prameya Gata Samshaya. Prameya means the object of knowledge. What the texts are telling us, now we know. But now the doubt is, what the texts are telling us is crazy. It's not true. How am I Brahman? If such a Brahman exists also, how is it that I am Brahman? So this is a doubt about the teaching itself. We see there's a subtle distinction. We know the teaching, but we don't get it. And then there is a third kind of problem or doubt which comes up later on. It's not really a doubt. It's called Viparita Bhavana, contrary tendencies. So we learn all of this, we even understand it all, and then it still doesn't seem to make a difference in our lives, because the whole goal was to make a difference in our lives, to give us lasting peace, fulfillment, to take us beyond suffering. It doesn't seem to do that. Viparita Bhavana means contrary tendencies. Contrary tendencies. So I am still acting contrary to the teachings. I know the teachings, I know I am Brahman. I have understood it also. But I don't behave that way. I don't feel that way. I don't react to life that way. So that problem is overcome by meditation, by non-dual meditation. The second problem, what was the second problem? Doubts regarding the teaching itself. The teaching is that you are Brahman, and I have doubts, we have serious doubts regarding that. That is the subject matter of this book. We are supposed to know what Vedanta teaches, and now we have many, many questions about it. That is what this text concentrates on. And it's not a comprehensive introduction to Advaitic dialectics. That would be some massive undertaking. But this is a very lucid, poetic, and a little idiosyncratic, because the poet is, you'll see, is a very, what you might call a kind of lateral thinker. So he comes up with amazing new arguments, new ways of looking at things. So that's the basic subject matter here. And it's very interesting. And that's why it's especially important in today's day and age, because today we need to be convinced. It's not so easy to believe. We need to be convinced intellectually. Swami Vivekananda said, not only must we have faith, we must have intellectual faith too. Our intellect must say, yes, this is reasonable, this is logical. Not just us. At least the finest brains in society should take a look at this and say, all right, I accept the logic of it. I have met people, very smart people, a neuroscientist I remember, she was sitting next to me on a plane somewhere in, we were traveling, she was going from England to India, and part of the journey she was with me next to my seat. And she asked me, I was dressed like this of course, so what do you believe in, what's your religion? And she said, I'm Anglican but I don't believe in it, it's just, I don't practice it. Then I talked about Vedanta, and her, very smart, she got it immediately, but her take on it was, I am not convinced by what you told me, but I can find no fault in the arguments. That's good enough as a beginning. If it was so easy, everybody would be a non-dualist, but they are not. But at least the arguments need to be solid, need to be very clear. So this is the subject matter of the text. The meaning of the term itself, Advaita Makaranda. Makaranda is what the bees go around in the flowers and gather the essence of the flowers and make honey out of it. So the poet, the author, thinks of himself as this bee who is going around to the various, the whole tradition, all these texts, and looking at the teachings, the techniques, especially the arguments, and collecting them all and presenting them as the honey to us. So Makaranda. A deeper meaning of this word honey or nectar, Makaranda, is what is the honey of the Upanishads? What is the honey of all these texts? The honey, the essence, the nectar of all these texts is Brahman itself. Is the non-dual reality, existence, consciousness, bliss. That's the direct meaning of the term honey used here. Advaita Makaranda, the non-dual honey. The non-dual honey of, what is that non-dual honey? What are they referring to? They are referring to the ultimate reality, existence, consciousness, bliss. How is it honey? Just as honey is the essence of all the flowers, similarly, the non-dual Brahman is the essence of all the teachings of the Upanishads. So two meanings of the word honey. One is Brahman itself. The second one is, the essence of all the teachings collected, the arguments especially collected from all the traditional texts and so on. The author himself, Lakshmidhara Kavi, Kavi means poet. But Kavi is a deeper word than the English poet. Kavi is translated as Kranta Drashta, the one who sees through to the end of things. One who sees very deeply. Poets do that actually. The real poets always do that. So in the Upanishads, the ultimate Kavi is God. There's a very beautiful line in the Vedas, in Rig Veda I think. Pashya devasya kavyam yonajiriyati namamara. Look upon the immortal poetry of the great poet. Immortal poetry of that luminous being. Deva means luminous being. Look upon the immortal poetry of the luminous being, which neither decays nor dies. What is the immortal poetry of the luminous being? This, the universe. Now look around you. See, hear, smell, taste, touch. Look inside, think, feel, visualize, meditate, pray. All of this is the poetry of that being. So God is the ultimate poet, but poets are also called poet Kavi. He was an actual poet. We don't know much about his origins. He lived maybe 400 or 500 years ago. You will find a discussion about who exactly he was in the introduction. Swami Atmarupan has given a nice introduction to this. You go through that, you will find some information about him. He has written other books too. And if you see the books which he has written, they are all, this one is a non-dual text. The others are all devotional texts. A commentary on the Bhagavatam, a book on the glory of the name of God. So they are devotional texts. And that again points to the fact that in the view of these ancient masters, there was no conflict between knowledge and devotion. Just like in the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, you find how beautifully he moves between love of God and the non-dual teachings. between Bhagavan, Divine Mother Kali and the non-dual Brahman. Easily, from one paragraph to the next, you see he is moving across these boundaries. Similarly, the same poet has written books on non-dual Vedanta, where it's all logic and sharp arguments and commentaries on beautiful devotional texts. Alright, that's by the way of introduction. Let's get into it. The Advaita Makarandam, it has 28 verses. The first verse, as is customary, he starts with a salutation. This is, in Sanskrit text, this is called Mangalacharana, an auspicious invocation. So whenever you start a text, definitely a scriptural text, a philosophical text, or some other text also, you start with an invocation, with a salutation to God, with a salutation to your teacher, and so on. Here he is starting with a salutation to both his teacher and to God. I will chant the verse and you can repeat after me if you like. If you cannot read the Devanagari, the Sanskrit, the alphabet here, don't be anxious, don't be worried, because everything is translated. So if you just read the translation, that's good enough. But it's good to hear the sound of the original Sanskrit. So that's why I'll chant it, and those who like can follow me. Kataksha Kirana Chanta, Kataksha Kirana Chanta, Naman Mohabdhaye Namaha, Naman Mohabdhaye Namaha, Anantananda Krishnaya, Anantananda Krishnaya, Jagan Mangalamurtaye, Jagan Mangalamurtaye. Salutations to Anantananda Krishna, the embodiment of auspiciousness to the world, who, by a ray proceeding from his mere glance, destroys the great ocean of delusion of those who surrender to him. So, here he has saluted Krishna, and he has saluted his Guru. Can we reduce the volume just a little bit more? I'm still getting an echo here. What does he say? Namaha, I salute. This salutation is a surrender and an acknowledgement of divinity. The philosopher Arindam Chakravarti says the deeper meaning of Namaha, the Sanskrit word Nama, to salute, is also the Sanskrit Na Mama, not mine. Not I, not mine, but thou my Lord, thou my Lord. So, bowing down to the Lord. It is a sad life where one has nothing and nobody to bow down to. So in our lives, there must be the holy, the divine, the sacred, which might be very private. You may not even talk about it to anybody else. But it should be there. Somewhere you can surrender, you can unconditionally bow down. Yes. So he says, who is he bowing down to? Krishna. To the Lord Krishna. So his Ishta Devata, the chosen deity, yesterday I mentioned the chosen deity, of the wide range of forms, names available to the Hindu. So for him, it's Krishna. Wide range of names and forms available to the Hindu. The Hindu seeker has what is called Ishta, the beloved or the selected form of God, which one worships. So, Krishna, for him it is Krishna. What is the nature of Krishna? Jagan Mangala Murtaye, the embodiment of all auspicious for this world and for us. All auspiciousness. Mangala means auspiciousness. All that is good, great and noble is embodied in the Lord. I bow down to such a Lord. And the nature of Krishna, Anantananda. So, limitless bliss. And by implication, limitless existence, limitless consciousness. Sat-Chit Ananda. So you see, this is a book of non-dual Vedanta. This is not a book of worship of Krishna. But he says the nature of Krishna is this. They are not two different things. Again, note how beautifully knowledge and devotion segue into each other. So the Lord, which is one limitless existence, consciousness, bliss, which is my real nature, that I, as this individual being, now worship as God. as Krishna or Vishnu or Kali or Jesus Christ or Allah, in whichever form you worship, whichever name you worship the Lord. Ananta Ananta Krishnaya. And there's a very beautiful phrase. He does these rolling Sanskrit, melodious Sanskrit phrases, poet, you know. So, Kataksha Kirana Achantam Naman Mohabdhai. Who, Krishna, this limitless existence, consciousness, bliss, what does it do? For those who bow down, Naman, those who surrender. So surrendering one way is bowing down in devotion. What will follow is also surrendering, is this serious study of this text. Not as a nice philosophy which I would like to learn, but as of vital importance for me. This will lead me to enlightenment and freedom. So I bow down to that reality, and that reality, what does it do? For those who bow down, this reality, Satchidananda, Krishna, Mohabdha, our ocean of delusion, this ocean of delusion. What is the primary delusion? I am this person, body, mind is limited guy. There may be Brahman, God, whatever, or may not be, but one thing I am sure of is I am this fellow who is suffering in this life. Who is born, who is suffering, and who will die very soon. This is what I'm sure of. This is delusion. This is the primary delusion. You are none other than this same Anantan and the limitless bliss, which is Krishna. You are one with that Lord. Hanuman, he was asked by Ramachandra, what do you think of me? Ramachandra is the same as Krishna, an avatar of Vishnu. And Hanuman was asked, what do you think of me? The mighty and wise Hanuman replied, that as this body, as this being, I am the servant, you are my Lord. That's my identity. If you do that, you are saved. If you can think of yourself as the servant of the Lord. In this life, whatever is happening, wherever the Lord is pleased to put me, I am the servant of the Lord. I serve God and no other master. Wonderful. And then he says, as this limited sentient being who is in this body, Hanuman, but in past lives somebody else, and if there are future lives will be somebody else, but this limited sentient being, mind, consciousness, mind is bundle. You are the whole, I am thy part, whole and part. I am the part of the infinite reality, Brahman. And as pure consciousness, you and I are one. Hanuman is saying to Ramachandra, you and I are one. Which one is right? He says, all are right. This is my firm conviction, depending on your perspective. There's this straight away common sense perspective, I'm just this guy. Then I'm the servant, you are my Lord. That also points towards multiple relationships one can set up with the Lord. I am the servant, thou art my master. You and I are friends, sakha, buddies. God, the Lord is my buddy. And then, you are the father or the mother, I am the child. Or you, my Lord, are the child, I am your father or mother. Mother especially, like Yashoda and Krishna. Or the idea of the beloved. The Lord and I, we are beloved, we are lovers. So, dasya bhava, the attitude of a servant, which Hanuman said. Then, sakhya, that means friendship. Then vatsalya, the attitude of a mother towards a child. These are the attitudes you take up with the Lord. And then the madhura bhava, the attitude of the beloved towards the loved one. And there's another one called the shanta, the peaceful attitude, which is basically a jnani's attitude towards the Lord. So these are different attitudes you can set up with the Lord. So if you relate to the Lord in this way, either devotionally or in identity, mohabdha, the ocean of delusion, is taken away. Why ocean? The primary delusion is, I am body and mind, I am not Brahman. This is the primary delusion. But out of this comes many other delusions. I am poor, I need to be rich. Or the physical delusions. I am male or female or some other gender, I am black or white or what. Race, gender, all of these identities. Then old or young, ill or healthy, so many things, learned or unqualified, whatever. All these are delusions produced by the primary delusion that I am not Brahman, I am this body and mind. This ocean of delusion, the Lord takes it away. He dries it up. Achanta literally means to sip. Achamana. So the ocean, such a vast ocean, like we would sip a drop of water. Similarly, the Lord sips, or how does the Lord sip away our entire ocean of delusion? By one glance, a ray from His eyes. Kataksha kirana. Kataksha means just a glance. Like the ray from the eyes of the Lord. What is the ray from the eyes of the Lord? Knowledge, which is going to come. This is the ray. Okay. Now, his guru is also, name of his guru is Anantananda. So the word Anantananda means two things. Brahman, the impersonal existence consciousness bliss, also means his guru. Lakshmidhara Kavi's guru's name is Anantananda. So he is doing all of it. By this Anantananda Krishna, he is saluting Krishna. He is acknowledging the goal is Satchidananda Brahman, and he is saluting his guru. These are not alternative interpretations of the verse. He is doing all of it, all three of them, by this one word. Poet. He loves this wordplay. Alright. Now it will really begin. We are going to dive into the text. The first verse is the most important. Aham asmi sada bhami, aham asmi sada bhami, kadachinnaham apriyah, kadachinnaham apriyah, brahmevaham matas siddham, brahmevaham matas siddham, Satchidananda Lakshanam, Satchidananda Lakshanam. I am, eternally I shine, never am I not beloved. Thus it is proven that I am verily Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss itself. Done. If you have nothing to say, you just say, bye, done. His strategy is very interesting. That's why I am saying this is a very unique kind of a text. What he does is jumps to the conclusion straight away. In the very first teaching, the second verse is the beginning of the text. He jumps straight to the conclusion. You are Brahman. Why? He will tell you. And then he leaves the ball in your court. Let's see your objections. Why would you protest? Hey, no, this is not right. You're assuming too much. Ask your questions. And then the questions will come and the answers will come. Only the answers are given. We have to imagine the questions. He doesn't waste his words, so we have to imagine what is the verse in reply to, what objection. So every verse after this is basically a reply to an objection and coming back to this conclusion. You have this objection, and this is my answer, therefore I am Brahman. Any other objection? Somebody will say something. This is my answer, therefore I am Brahman. And he means, I means you, each of us. This will be his approach. What's the strategy? If two things have the same definition, they are the same thing. If two things are defined the same way, the same definition, they must be the same thing. Brahman is Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. How do we know? All the texts tell us this. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad. Infinite existence, consciousness is Brahman. Anandam Brahma. Infinite bliss is Brahman. Put them together, Satchit, Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss is Brahman. All the root texts tell us the nature of the ultimate reality is pure being, pure consciousness, pure bliss. Now I will show that I am pure being, pure consciousness, pure bliss. My definition and Brahman's definition are one and the same. Therefore I am Brahman. So this is the strategy. He jumps straight to the conclusion. On what basis? On the basis of same definition. Brahman's definition, as we find in the texts, as we have been taught, and my characteristics. He looks at himself and he finds these characteristics, these aspects. Therefore they match. Therefore I am Brahman. So are you. All of us are. Now let's see what he does here. Asmi, the first observation. I am. If we could just stay with this, what would be enlightened? You see, all our problems are what we add to the I am. I am hot. I need air conditioning. I am hungry. I need food. But I am itself has no problems. If you could just stay with it. Alright, just let's stay with the I am for a while. Notice in this I am, existence and consciousness are both there. Am is existence. Is, am, existence, being. And the I is awareness. Notice the I, not this, but the vertical I, not the horizontal I. I is awareness. Notice the very nature of this I is aware. It's shining with awareness. First, let's look at the I am. When you are looking at me right now, I am. When I see, I am. Whatever I see, the things that I see keep changing. You can see the ocean, you can see the desert and the mountains, you can see Phoenix, you can see the Franciscan retreat here. They keep changing, but what's constant? I am. And when we hear, hearing is so different from seeing. Forms are seen, sounds are heard, but even when you are hearing sounds, you hear music, you hear speech, you hear silence. Or the hum of the air conditioner, whatever. And what is constant? I am. You smell, you taste all the delicious food. Somebody told me at breakfast, after this I need to have one more nap. So it's wonderful food here. So I am when you are eating. And the various kinds of things which we taste. I am all the time. So in all our sensory experiences, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, the objects of these five senses are many and numerous, endless. How many types of flavors do you taste? How many types of colors do we see? How many types of fragrance do we, or bad smells do we smell? And touch, varieties of touch that we can touch. All of this are numerous, but they can all be reduced to five senses. And all the five senses, behind all of them is I am. You may not be thinking I am, but clearly you are. Notice the other way around. If I am was not there, what would happen? Try it just now. You are looking at me. You're looking at, you're seeing me. Is it true that I am means you? By the way, one more little thing before I can complete this exercise. When I say I am is you, you are or I am is the same thing. Notice there is only one word which we use in this rather strange sense. If I say book, Advaita Makarandam book, we all know. When you say book and I say book, we all mean this. When you say shirt and I say shirt, we all mean this shirt. But when you say I and I say I, we mean two different things. Clearly. Every sentient being uses the word I to mean something different. I means I here, and when you say I, it means you. But isn't it strange? Why should there be only one word in all our language which is used immediately in this very strange manner? Advaita Vedanta says we are using it wrongly, we don't know. Even the I also means the same thing. What you mean by I also mean by I. We are one I. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Kshetragyam chapi mang vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharate, 13th chapter. Know me to be the one knower, the one I in all beings, the one knower of the field in all fields. In all sentient beings, billions of beings, there is only one I am. And Krishna says, I am that. Anyway, that's the idea of God in Vedanta. Right now, I am. In all our sensory experiences, I am. But suppose this I am was not there, what would happen? Right now you're seeing me. Is it true to say, would you say I am? Yes? Give me a response. Yes. Now, suppose you close your eyes. Try it now. Close your eyes. Can you see me? No. But is it true to say I am? Yes. Whether you are there or not, I can't say, because I am not seeing you. But I am, I can say. I don't need to see. Now suppose that I not only not seeing, but suppose I did not hear, smell, taste, touch. Would it still be true to say I am for you, yourself? Yes. Even without any sensory activities, it is true to say I am. Suppose now you forget everything, no memory at all, nothing. I don't remember what happened just last minute. Whole life disappears. I can't even remember my name. Would the I am be still there? Yes. Not dependent on memory. Suppose no feelings, neither bad, nor good, nor pleasant, nor painful, just neutral. Would it still be there? I am? Yes. Suppose no understanding. Intellect is not working at all. I can't understand anything. I cannot understand anything. Doesn't that mean I am? True or not? Yes. So this complete blank, no emotions, no thoughts or feelings, no memory, no seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, still I am. Not doing anything, not experiencing anything, but I am. Now gently open your eyes. Suppose that I am were not there. Suppose that's not possible, but suppose that I am were not there. Would you still be able to see? Just think about it. That I am awareness, if it goes away, no I am anymore. Would there be seeing, hearing, thinking, remembering? Nothing would be there without that I am. So aham asmi, I am. In all my experiences, sensory experiences of the world, mental experiences of thinking, remembering, desiring, hating, enjoying, suffering, understanding, I am. And when we fall asleep, afternoon siesta, I see there's a long time for the afternoon siesta. And then at night, when we fall asleep, the entire world disappears. And a world of dreams comes up. And what's there? I am. We have forgotten that we are dreaming. It seems like a waking experience, but we feel I am. And the claim in Vedanta is when we go into deep sleep also, when the dreams also fade out, into utter darkness, blankness, I am. I wouldn't be able to say I am, but we acknowledge that I experienced a period of blankness. I experienced a period of not knowing anything, within quotes. I experienced a period of deep peace. And now I have awakened again. So the I am continues unbroken through waking, dreaming, deep sleep. And it's the same I am. When you think back upon it, was it a different I am? It's the same I am. The experiences were different. The thoughts were different. The sensory experiences were different. The dreams were different. But I am continued all through. Aham asmi. So this continuous I am, without any break, this is called Sat, pure existence. But it's not a dead existence, it's always shining. Shining means aware, aware. Descartes, the great French mathematician, philosopher, even if you're not interested in philosophy, anybody who studied mathematics, we know x-axis, y-axis, the Cartesian coordinates, he was the person behind it. So great philosopher, mathematician. He had this project, the famous project of skepticism. The project was to find out the absolutely certain basis of knowledge. What is it, he asked himself, more than 300 years ago. What is it that we can be absolutely certain about? It cannot be doubted. You might say, well, what about this word? Can be doubted. Maybe you're dreaming. Maybe you're still napping, you didn't wake up in time for the Vedanta class, you're still dreaming and think you're in the class. Or maybe in the Matrix movie, it looks like a real word, but it isn't. Could be. So whatever I experience, it could be false, it could be. Illusions. We think it's one thing, we realize it's something else. And Descartes, 300 years ago, long before AI and virtual reality, he imagined something like AI and virtual reality. He says, imagine there is a malign demon. It's in his meditations, Descartes' meditation. Imagine there is a malign demon which projects all my experiences into me. I am not really seeing anything if that demon is projecting it to me. I am not really touching, smelling, tasting anything. It's all being projected into my brain by the demon. And even my thoughts are being projected by the demon. Everything is controlled by the demon. How can I be sure anything is real? Or just a projection of that demon? How can I know anything in my knowledge is trustworthy or not? This is like ultimate skepticism. Everything can be done. Very much like virtual reality. In fact, in modern philosophy of mind, there's a thought experiment. They call it BIV, brains in a vat. How do you know that you're not a brain in a vat? What's a brain in a vat? With all life support systems, suppose only my brain is taken out and kept there. No body, nowhere. And a lot of implants are put in the brain. Into the brain directly are supplied stimuli, which makes me feel as if I'm seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. Because actually that's what's going on now. Right now, the experience that you and I are having, we are not directly contacting the world. Any physiologist will tell you that. Any doctor will tell you that. You are not directly seeing me or touching the table. What we mean by seeing or touching the table, seeing a person, is that light is reflected from here, goes to your eyes through the lenses, an image is formed. By the time it reaches your eyes, there is no person there, there is no wall, there are no colors, nothing. It's just light which is reaching your eyes. Our eyes are meant to gather in just light, not the desert or the mountain or the birds, no, or the cactuses. Imagine the cactus going into your eye. Only the light reflected from the cactus goes into your eye. And that also immediately, within a fraction of a second, no more light. It becomes tiny bursts of electricity racing along your optic nerves to a brain center. And from there, what happens, nobody knows. Amazing. With all our science, the last thing that we can detect is tiny electrical activity going on in the brain. Somebody, a neuroscientist, told me that that is also very complex. We are not very sure exactly what's going on. It's like waves of neurons, they fire. So there's like, he says it's more like a weather system than the way we write about it. You are tasting coffee, so some neuron is firing there, that is the taste of coffee. Not like that, Swami. He said it's like waves of tiny electrical activity, like you see in a weather system, like a storm, It's a very complex picture. And that's the last thing we can detect scientifically. But personally, you and I, what do we see? We feel, we see, we hear, we smell, we taste, we touch, we think, we remember, we desire, we hate, we understand, or we do not understand. We wake, we dream, we sleep. All of these first-person experiences, these are happening within us. So suppose all of these are projected to us, we would not know what is real and what not. This is actually what we are experiencing, just within ourselves. Something may be coming from outside stimuli. So, Descartes said, what is the one thing that you cannot doubt? Everything you can doubt. The one thing I cannot doubt is that I'm doubting. If I doubt, then I, the doubter, must exist. The thinker of that thought. That I cannot doubt. Why? Why cannot I doubt that? If I doubt it, that's also a thought. Is it real? That's a thought. Even if you say, do I exist? That's a thought. So, the thinker of thoughts must exist. Cogito ergo sum. Because I think, therefore I exist. My thinking proves to me that I exist. Vedanta would modify it a little bit. You exist, therefore you think. But anyway, the conclusion is correct. The one thing, Descartes' conclusion was, the one thing that we cannot doubt is I am. Why can't I doubt that? Because if I doubt it, the doubter of that doubt is that I am. Nearly 700-800 years before Descartes, Shankaracharya writes, Yaiva tasya nirakarta tasyaiva atmasa. Whoever denies the existence of the self, the Atman, it's the self of that very denial. The same conclusion. So the I am cannot be doubted. And this I am continuously shines. It is awareness, it is consciousness. It's never dark. We just proved that. See, I am, then everything is experienced. But without the I am, nothing would be experienced. Therefore, the I am is shining all the time. It's awareness. It reveals everything in our waking, everything in our dreams, everything in our deep sleep. There's no everything in the deep sleep, just the blankness. So this I am is always shining. Sada bhami. Always shining. This I am is the nature of existence and consciousness. Sada asmi, always I am. Why do you say always? Notice all this I am talking about, we recognize it as the same I am. If you say the I am, Swami, disappears in deep sleep, yes, the cognition of I am disappears in deep sleep. But you, the being, that does not disappear in deep sleep. Otherwise you would have the silly prospect of every time you wake up, you are a new I am. But you don't feel that also. Not only you don't feel that, the society, law, common sense, all says we are the same person. So it must be the same I am. We recognize ourselves, if you think about it. We never even make this experiment. But that I am which continues throughout, it's the same I am. When you see this book, I am is there. Now see this cloth. The I am is there. Is the book and the same cloth the same? No. But is the I am the same? Yes. So I am is the same throughout all our experiences. Sada asmi, always I am. Sada bhami, always I shine. And then one more argument. What is he driving at? This always I shine is called chit or pure consciousness in the Upanishads. This always I am is called sat or pure being, existence. Why pure? Is it like a good being and there is some naughty being there? So pure? Or has it been like recently through the laundry and therefore it's pure now, pure being? No. It's because it's just the I am without the additions. Without additions like I am tall, I am short, I am hungry, I am sad, I am rich, I am poor, I understand, I don't understand. All of that, remove all of that. Just the I am. So it's the pure being, pure consciousness. Now what about pure bliss? He says, Kadachinaham apriyaha. Notice that I am never not beloved to myself. What's the argument here? Follow this carefully. The argument here, the argument for pure being and pure consciousness, notice I lump them together in I am. You can treat them separately also. The third one, bliss. So here, the argument is drawn from Vidyaranya Swami, one of Lakshmidhara Kavi's predecessors who wrote the text Panchadashi. In the first chapter, that book has 15 chapters on Advaita Vedanta. The first chapter has this argument. How am I ananda, pure bliss, or pure happiness? In this way, here's the argument. When we like something, when do we like something? When it gives us happiness. If something gives me happiness, follow this carefully, step by step. If something gives me happiness, I like it. Or that person, or that thing, or that activity, or that food, whatever it is. Anything gives me happiness, I like it. If I like something, I would like to get it or get more of it. If I already have it, I would like to preserve it, keep it. If I do not like if something does not give me happiness, then I don't like it. And if I don't like something, then I would like to get rid of it. Or if I don't have it, I would like to avoid it. So these are look at the argument. Gives me happiness, I like. I like, I want it. Want it means to get it or keep it. Doesn't give me happiness, I don't like. I don't like it, I don't want it. I don't want it, I want to avoid it, or if it's there, I want to get rid of it. Now what is it? You can put anything. Notice it's true. Now then the question is, if there is something that I always want to keep and never want to get rid of, the reverse. Happiness, liking, keeping. That means if I want to keep it, it must be a source of like it. I must like it. And if I like it, it must be a source of happiness. If I always want to keep it, then I always like it. And if I always like it, it must be always giving me happiness. What's the one thing? You yourself, the self. I never want to get rid of myself. I always want to keep myself. Swami, what about suicide? I know your thoughts, what you're thinking about, without being telepathic. First thought that didn't come to our mind, but is that true? Some people dislike themselves so much they want to kill themselves. But remember that even the people who want to kill themselves, I have a terrible debt, I don't know how I'll pay off this mortgage or whatever, I'm going to kill myself. And he said, no, don't kill yourself. We will, the bank pays off your mortgage. Oh, okay. What about your project of killing yourself? No need, it's okay. So it was the problem which was driving me. Not I, me, myself. Not the self itself. Something that came in from outside which I wanted to get rid of. Once it's got rid of, I'm okay with myself. I don't want to kill myself. Recently they approached me. Swami gave a message against suicide. So there's a suicide prevention thing. It's from the National Health Authority, NHS. So they're spending a lot of money on mental health issues, especially suicide. So I gave a little talk about how we are actually the immortal Atman, and then they gave me a little script. Call this number, don't kill yourself. So I had read that out, call this number, don't kill yourself. They kept only that part, the rest didn't. So, I always want to keep myself, I do not want to get rid of myself, therefore I must be always liking myself. If I always like myself, I must be the source of unending happiness to myself. One conclusion. Now, a subtle variation of this argument is another part of this argument. The other part of the argument is, alright, you may be a source of happiness to yourself, instead of a source of contentment. I exist. Yeah, that's not much happiness. That's a little bit of it. Little trickle of happiness. What about Ananda? It's supposed to be limitless happiness. Yes, that too, I'll show you. Another argument. These are very interesting arguments. Think about that. This book is a lot to think about actually. The second part of the argument for Ananda goes like this. What are we trying to prove? What have we proved? You are the source of unending happiness to yourself. You must be. It doesn't feel like that. That we'll see why it doesn't feel like that. But logically it must be. Second, source of maximum happiness? Yes, that too, we'll prove it. The principle is this. When one thing is loved for the sake of another, the other one is loved more than the first one. When the mother loves the toys of her child, that means the toys are loved for the sake of the child. Which is loved more, the toys or the child? Well, a very peculiar mother who loves the video game more than the kid. No. So she loves the kid and she loves the kid's toys. So in fact, not relevant, but why I'm using this toy and mother example, one of the first patients that Freud treated in Vienna was this young lady who was a new mother, and she was all very good. She was a good mother and everything was happy, but she was unhappy herself. And one symptom was she used to kick the toys of her child. And then Freud analyzed it. It was a simple case, because that's where he got one of the ideas of this repression. So what was happening? She behaved like a very nice mother, and she thought of herself as a good mother, and all her people, everybody around her thought she was fine, but she was very unhappy. And one symptom came up. She used to kick the toys of her child. And very soon Freud, after talking with her for some time, it immediately came up with the reasons. She had been a socialite in the high society in Vienna. And when the child was born, all of that she had to give up. All her fun, the very nice life she had to give up because of the baby. And that resentment and anger, she can't take it out of the baby because she thinks of herself as a good mother. How can she mistreat the baby? So she mistreats the toys. So that's the anger. Anyway, not relevant. Lakshmidhara Kavi is saying you're going way off point. So he says that the argument goes like this. If one thing is loved for the sake of another, the second one is loved more than the first one. So if everything is loved for the sake of something, that must be loved more than everything else. And the principle here is, if you love something more, that gives you more happiness. What gives the mother more happiness? Except this mother. But what gives the mother more happiness? The child or the toys? The child. How do we know this? Because the toys are loved for the sake of the child. So the child gives more happiness to the mother than the toys. If something is loved more than everything else, that must be giving more happiness than everything else. Now see, he says, you are loved more than anything else by yourself. Then you must be giving maximum happiness to yourself. How so? The example I love is this one. There's a young man who was working in a big corporation. He gets a big fat pay packet and he says, I love my job and I really do it for the job. You ask him, okay, do it for the job. You're not going to get paid. Is that all right? No. I have to get paid. If you had to choose job and the money, which one would you take? Or the money, which one would you take? Like when push comes to shove, you'd say the money. All right, take the money, but you can't spend it. You can't do anything with it. It's your money. That's all. You can't invest it. You can't spend it. You can't. No. I need to buy things with it. I need to spend it. I need to buy things with it. And I need to, use it for my family, for people, and all of that. So if you say, all right, you can buy things with it, but they will not be for yourself or your family. It will be for everybody else. No. It has to be for me and my family. It has to be for people I love. Okay. You can spend the money, you get the money, you can spend the money, you can buy the things, and they will go to those people, but they will no longer be your family. It will just be some random family. No. It has to be my family. See where it comes, all the way from the job, to the money, to the things it buys, to the people, to ultimately I, me, myself, in a selfish way. The principle is true. It points back to yourself. So everything is loved. The job is loved for the money is loved for what it buys, those things are loved for the family you buy it for, but the family is loved for yourself. Therefore, the source, which gives more happiness, job or money? Money. Which gives more happiness, money or the things it buys? The things it buys. Which gives more happiness, the things it buys or the family? The family. Which gives more happiness, the family or the self? The self. The self is the source of maximum happiness. Now put them together. The self, you are the source of maximum happiness and continuous happiness. This maximum continuous happiness is called Ananda. You might say, oh, one little problem here. There are lots of little problems, and he will answer all those problems. One little problem might be this nice argument, I don't feel it. Why you don't feel it, we'll see later. But this is the argument. And therefore now he says, the bold claim. Brahmaivaham atah siddham. Therefore, from what do you conclude things? From these arguments. I am, I shine, I am bliss itself. Bliss itself. Therefore, I am Brahman. How? Aren't you jumping? What's this Brahman? Satchidananda Lakshanam. Existence, consciousness, bliss. Sat, Chit, Ananda. When we go to the books, the Upanishads, they tell us this existence, this shining, this bliss is called Brahman, and you are Brahman. Proved. On the basis of what? On the basis of my own daily experiences and reason. Experience and reason. When we reason upon our continuously available experiences, we inevitably come to this conclusion. So this is very bold. And if you think, we'll all resist this, and we'll come up with many objections, and so which will happen soon. But there's a Jewish word, chutzpah, which means daring, So look at this person. He goes straight away and says, I am Brahman, you are too. Tell me, it's like this. You are Brahman because you exist. You just said I am is always there. You shine forth, you're always aware. That awareness is always there. And you are the source of your own, you, the self, are the source of your own continuous maximum bliss. So you are Sat Chit Ananda. Tell me why you aren't Brahman. Atas Siddham. Therefore proved. We used to write in the geometry proofs QED. What is it? Quo erat demonstratum or something like that. Hence proved. Hence proved that you are Brahman.
I think we used to say question easily done.
Question easily done. Yes.
Science.
Yes. The Latin is QED. Good. It's time for a break. Let me do a peace chant. We will start with questions. The next session is 11:50. Take a break. We'll start at. We'll start at 11:50 is good. Then we'll start with one or two questions there. Or what we will do is we'll go on with the text. Let the text generate the questions. We'll get a feel for it. What kind of questions come up, and then I can leave you with a little glimpse of the next episode. What's going to happen in the next episode in this thriller? The next episode is this. You can see all the people who are listening to this. The students, the people from other, you just imagine the students, they're all waving their hands. Wait, this is not so fast. Look, all this is nice. But Brahman in the Upanishads is said to be the origin, the sustenance, and the place of dissolution of the universe. Upanishads say, Yato vaimani bhutani jayante, from which all these beings arise, in which all of them exist, into which all of them disappear. That is Brahman, the origin of the universe. Are you the origin of the universe? Yeah, you exist, and that too is very temporary. And you shine, that too not very brightly. And this shows you're not very bright either. And you say you are limitless bliss, but you're always scowling. And see, Brahman is the origin of the universe, is the reality of this entire universe. Are you the origin of the universe? That will be the next question. And you will see, you'll say, yes, I'll show you. And not only me, you too. And you are the origin of the universe. You will show that. Then the next question will come, wait a minute. Brahman is eternal. Always was, is, always will be. Your so-called I am is born now, will die very soon. Are you eternal? You will say, yes, I'll show you how I am eternal. Then the next question will be, wait a minute. Brahman is everywhere. Are you everywhere? You're just here. And if you're not here, you'll be there. But you are not everywhere. And you will say, I'll show you how you are everywhere. Then the next question will be, Brahman is non-dual. We always hear Advaita, non-duality. How are you non-dual? You are one and there are so many others around you. You will say, yes, I am non-dual. And you are too, and I'll show you how. Like this. Alright. Did we do a peace chant? Yes. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram